Hello YouTube, I'm David with the David West channel. Let's go ahead and make a Virginia pine bow drill friction fire today. Materials off of the landscape. You want to find something that's obviously degraded, that the bark is off of. And I think we can get a lot out of this one branch. I'm going to cut it close to the base of the tree, to the trunk of the tree, so that will be our fatwood bearing block. I see some good material for a spindle, for a fireboard, and of course kindling and fuel wood. So maybe this is just the one branch that we need. Let's get started. All right, this will make a great bow drill bearing block, and the fatwood probably runs up this branch about 4 or 5 inches. I want to get past that into the more clear wood, cut off my bearing block, and then use this fatter, this thicker diameter for my fireboard. Well, there's still a lot of fatwood right there. Let's cut it up here about 6 inches and still use this for the fireboard. Hopefully there won't be a lot of fatwood right here. That's better. Of course, we'll be using this end for the fireboard divot. All right, now we need a spindle small enough to fit on that narrow fireboard. I don't have a choice. I like a longer spindle than this, but we'll just have to use this little 5.5 inch piece here and whittle it down on the diameter to make our spindle. We can go ahead and cut that loose now. I'm glad the wood is good and soft. That is an advantage. It is only 5.5 inches long. All right, it helps me to take it to square first. I know some of you can go ahead and whittle it out and come up with a perfectly symmetrical, cylindrical shape. But if you're like me, can't do it, square it up first. It's highly degraded, but not too degraded. You can use your fingernail and leave an imprint in it. So that's good. Now, as far as the ends, on an 8-inch spindle, I'd usually come down 1.5 inches to 2 inches, whittle out a point for the bearing block end. It should be on center line with the rest of the spindle. Turn it 90 degrees, and that point still be on center line. But since I have such a short spindle, I'm only going to come down less than 1 inch and bring it to the point, because if I have a long, narrow point, I'll just quickly lose the little bit of length that I have on the spindle. So I would rather this bearing block end start to shoulder out than to lose a bunch of length. And then on the hot end, come down 1/4 inch, do facets all the way around. Come up 1/8 from there, facets all the way around. Come up another 1/16, Facets all the way around. And that spindle turned out great. Let's see if we can come up with a wide enough fireboard now. This is what we have to work with. And we should be able to come up with a good fireboard that's wide enough. I like to find where it sits the flattest first. Like right there. And then start putting my flats on both sides of the fireboard. How about that? That'll work. Good. Let's start working on our shavings tinder bundle. Here's what we ended up with. Fatwood bearing block. There's my divot right there. And our spindle. And as you already saw, the fireboard. Don't know if I'm in the shot. A little bit lower. So let's get on with it, because if I try to videotape in the sun too long, the camera will cut off. So let's go ahead and do a burn in. Oh, there's some scrapings and shavings here. The scrapings and shavings that you saw me make on the sawhorse, the little feather stick. I will take the time to show you this. We're gonna blow this shavings tinder bundle into flames while it is sitting on top of the stove. Usually I hold it in my hand to blow it into flames, but I want to show you something that you can replicate. I'll pile up these coarse shavings in there. And we'll make a little depression for these scrapings and shavings, which are kind of like feathers. That's where we'll set the ember. And then I'll keep feeding the ember with these scrapings and shavings. Let's do the burn in. All right, what do we have here? All Virginia pine, looks like it. Virginia pine spindle, fatwood bearing block, fireboard, scrapings, shavings, and kindling. Yep, have to put a point back on it. That'll be good. Let me cut a notch, I'll be right back. You see how fluffy that dust is? That's just the way pine is. It might be a two-stager to get the ember. Usually fluffy dust will hang up at the top of the notch. You have to stop, take your knife, push it down the bottom of the notch, and then go that second time, and that's when you get the ember. All right. Let's try it. All right. Hopefully we get it on the first try. I'm gonna move my tennis shoe. Yeah. I don't think it's oh, I see some smoke. All right. Have to knock that dust down into the notch and go again. It almost ignited that time. Well, it looks ignited. Good. Now, we have to let it sit there and coalesce. Maybe I can get away with letting it coalesce in the tinder bundle. All right, y'all, do me a favor. Before you leave my channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and in that drop-down list, select all, and do give the video a like. I appreciate you joining me on this one. We'll catch you on the next one. There's my flames. As soon as you're sure that I got flames, I have got to move that camera out of the sun over here into the shade. So you can see those flames, right? Let me move you. That is how you make a bow drill friction fire off of the landscape, dealing with whatever moisture happens to be in your materials. We'll catch you on the next one.